So if in today's episode you realize that you have been loving yourself wrong, please do not feel ashamed because I've been in your exact shoes before. I felt guilty to it myself. I used to go through a whole breakup, run home, blast Janae Aiko, and put on a face mask and wonder why I ain't feel better. Hello, everybody. My name is Kamari, and this is the Self-Love Lab. Here we navigate through the beautiful and nourishing, but also through the ugly, hard truth side of the healing journey. I'm actually really excited for today's episode because this is my first visual episode. If you haven't noticed, I am already on Apple and Spotify if you'd like to listen to the audio version. If you're driving, if you'd like to just have something in the background, you're at work bored, you can always just go ahead to Spotify or Apple and turn on the audio version if you cannot watch the visual version. But this is my first YouTube video, so again, I'm very excited and very thankful for anybody who's here, anybody who's landed on the video. So you can subscribe, you can not subscribe, and you can just sit here and chill with us and maybe take a couple notes, learn something. That's all I'm here for. So again, just thank you so much for your support. Like I said, I am already on Spotify and Apple. So I did have a couple girls write to me on those platforms that they wanted to know what self-love was and how to actually start loving themselves. Because when it came to the healing journey, they had no idea where to start. So in today's episode, I really want to dig into self-love, what you need to even start self-loving, and what exactly does that even mean? Let's start off by saying self-love is BS. And no, I'm not talking about the general concept of self-love. I'm talking more of social media's concept of self-love. What started out as popularized healing has kind of shifted to an aesthetic, okay? I want to say maybe in the last 3 to 4 years, healing and self-love and self-care has become extremely popular. And it's leading a youth of girls to find themselves and become her, H-E-R, her. At least that's what it was intended to be when it had first started. What was supposed to be self-love has actually turned into long baths, hair routines, staying hydrated, and doing your nails, getting your nails done every other week. I actually saw a post recently, and that kind of inspired me to make this video. But the post said, and I'm not going to say who made the post because I'm not here to drag anybody. But the post said, how to self-love. And on the bullet points, it said things like walking in nature, watch your favorite TV shows, staying hydrated, and going to sleep early. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with doing these things. There's nothing wrong with going to sleep early. There's nothing wrong with staying hydrated. There's nothing wrong with watching your favorite TV shows. But when you finish doing these things, you may still feel empty. You may still feel insecure. You may still lack patience. You may still feel like you haven't even come close to really truly healing your self-traumas and your inner self-resentments. So on today's episode, I want to give you 4 steps on how to actually love yourself, no BS. Step number 1, start your shadow work. Okay, shadow work is the work that you do for your inner self that helps you heal your inner traumas and resentments. Start your shadow work, okay? My favorite thing to start my shadow work, and I used to do this all the time, get out a piece of paper. I don't care if you write this on a piece of paper. I don't care if you write it on your forehead, on your wall, on your t-shirt. I don't care where you put this, but you need to write this down. Write down 5 negative traits from your mother, 5 negative traits from your father, and 5 negative traits that you get from the both of them each. And you write down those traits and you work on those traits. This is how you can truly start your self-love and truly start figuring out within what you need. This is going to help you reflect. So instead of you pointing a finger at everybody else all the time, you're physically going to see on paper what's wrong with you and what you need to fix in order to really get on track with your self-healing journey. Start asking yourself hard questions. What do I hate most about myself? What is something I wouldn't want anybody else to find out about me? Start asking yourself these hard questions, write them down, and put your answer down. And this is your first foot in the door to shadow work. Step number 2, have boundaries, aka standing on big business for real, okay? When you have boundaries, boundaries basically tell other people how they can treat you. Boundaries tells me what you tolerate and what you aren't able to tolerate. Boundaries are extremely important. Without boundaries, you may actually end up settling in life, settling for that job, settling for that relationship, settling for how your family treats you. You're going to end up settling for things that you don't want to happen and things that you didn't even need. Again, boundaries tells you and everybody else how you want to be treated and what you're able to tolerate. So you need to be able to instill these boundaries, know what you want, know why you want it, know how you want to be treated and how you want to treat somebody else, and you put up those walls accordingly. Now I'm going to give you guys an example of boundaries, right? So let's say I'm talking to a dude and he texts me every day at 12 in the morning. You already know what that means. You know what that means. He texts me at 12 in the morning. I tell him I don't like being texted at 12 in the morning. It makes me uncomfortable. I'd appreciate a morning text. Couldn't we work something out? He tells you, yeah, I apologize. We're gonna try to work something out. He texts me the next day at 12 a.m. He is blocked by 12:01. By 12:01, he is blocked. And by 12:02, I'm probably talking about it to my girls in the group chat. Like, instill your boundaries and respect your boundaries, because if you don't, nobody else will. As long as you properly communicate your boundaries, there's no reason for anybody else to disrespect them and for you to allow that disrespect more than once. Step number 3, change the way you talk about yourself. Change the way you talk about yourself, especially when you're around other people. Stop calling yourself ugly because you're having a bad hair day. Stop picking at your body because it doesn't look like the BBLs you see on Instagram. Stop going in on your shoulders, your forehead, how your hair looks because you're having a bad day. Stop talking down on yourself, again, especially when you're around other people. All you're doing is showing other people that you're insecure while tearing yourself down. All you're doing is showing other people how they can talk about you and how they can disrespect you, because they see the little respect that you have for yourself and how you're willing to talk about yourself with other people. When you're talking about yourself with other people and you talk down on yourself, sometimes it even makes other people uncomfortable. And it genuinely does. I'm going to give you the hard truth. Sometimes it makes people uncomfortable to hear someone else sit and talk about their insecurities over and over. They don't know how to respond to you after a while, and you need to learn how to respond to yourself. Stop sharing your insecurities with other people, okay? Especially acquaintances. Learn the difference between a friend and an acquaintance. A friend is somebody you can call when your tire goes flat, and they're going to be able to come and pick you up, okay? An acquaintance is somebody you don't feel comfortable doing that with. If you can't call them when you're in an emergency and you're in dire need of help, that's not really your friend. So stop talking to people negatively about yourself. You're giving them ammo. You're loading the gun for them. You're adding gasoline to the fire for them. You're giving them the opportunity to talk about you the same way they hear you speaking about yourself. Don't get me wrong, everybody has their insecurities, and it's completely normal and okay to have those things. But when you highlight your insecurities with other people, you do risk them also highlighting them. You point out something on your forehead, they might have not even noticed it before, but now they see it. You point out you have broad shoulders and you got a big back and you're in NFL, okay? Now they're going to be looking at your big back. Like, you need to stop telling other people your insecurities. Telling other people your insecurities doesn't do anything to help you, and it doesn't do anything to help them. Step number 4, last but not least, is to do a detox. And no, I'm not talking about a fruit cleanse, detox, watermelon only 30 days. No, I'm talking about a social media, okay, spiritual, mental, and social life cleanse. You need to have supportive people in your circle when you are doing your self-love and self-healing journey. It is very difficult to be on your journey completely by yourself. And it's very difficult to have people around you who aren't supportive of your journey or aren't supportive of you. And I don't just mean the people in your phone. I don't just mean your friends at school. I don't just mean your girlfriends from college. I'm talking about the people you follow on social media as well. That girl you haven't talked to since high school, why are you still following each other if you're not going to support each other's content? That story you keep scrolling past that you don't pay any mind to, let go of it. Unfollow them. Do a cleanse. And I'm guilty of it myself. I did a cleanse recently, honestly. I cleared out my whole Instagram because there was a couple stories that I would just scroll by, scroll past. And I really had to sit and think to myself. I had this conversation with my best friend as well. And I was just like, why are we following these people? We need to do an Instagram detox yesterday. So detox your Instagram and get rid of anybody who isn't supportive and anybody who isn't truly willing to help. Okay? You need to really put your foot down, cleanse, detox, and surround yourself with the right people. That's actually all of my steps for today. Thank you guys so much for being here. Again, the 4 steps is starting your shadow work, setting better boundaries, having supportive people around you, do a detox, and change the way you talk about yourself. Okay? If you do these 4 steps, I promise you're going to see such a difference in your life. You're going to reach your higher self. You're going to reach her way sooner and faster and closer than what you would have in the past not practicing these steps. So again, guys, thank you so much. If it helped, please do not hesitate to comment below. If you have any recommendations, do not be shy to comment that below as well. Subscribe or don't subscribe. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it, especially if you learned anything. I am on Apple and Spotify, like I said before. So thank you so much again. This is the Self Love Lab, and this is your girl Kamari, and I'm out.